Grüß Gott, everybody. I'm assuming you just watched my Salzburg video. This is my Munich, Germany video. Um, there are three things that are very important that I would like to mention to you. Let me see if I can remember them. Before I make these videos, I kind of think up the things that I want to say. Definitely one of the things I want to cover is food. One of the things I want to cover is Sophie Scholl. And I'm pretty sure one of the other things I wanted to cover was just friends, just experiences, just friends. So let's start with friends, why not? So I get there, and my friend Craig knows a girl named Natalie. Pretty simple. Natalie lives in Germany. Now, Craig met Natalie. She came to live in the United States for a year, and that's how they met. And afterwards, they kind of were like, whatever, pen pals, I guess you could say. So she lives in Germany, and she lives 2 hours outside of Munich. However, Craig told her we would be there, so she hitchhiked 2 hours into Munich to come meet us and spend the day with us. Very charitable with her time. Very, very sweet girl. I just felt so blessed and honored to have gotten to meet her and spend time with her. She spoke English, I guess, I'm pretty sure Luke said, or had asked her, have you learned English ever since she was a kid? And she was like, yeah. So she spoke fluent German, obviously, that's her first language, but she spoke pretty fluent English, which was a perk. So she was just a lovely tour guide. She had only been to Munich one other time, but she, showed us things. She had her own little guidebook. She translated for us. She was just our little German angel during that whole trip. So thank you, Natalie. Greatly appreciated. So Natalie took us to this little marketplace where I fulfilled my life goal. Okay, not my life goal. Okay, you know what I mean. I got to eat a bratwurst in Germany. It was so good. It was just so good. Ugh, I wish I could relive that moment. It was just so good. It was even better than the bacon-wrapped bratwurst in Salzburg. I mean, this brat was just so good. Oh my gosh. So we walked around this little marketplace. Everyone else got some other food. Katie got some cheese. They were selling cheese and wine. And that was just really good. Then, if you have not seen or heard of Sophie Scholl, The Final Days, please, I'm begging you, please rent it. I love foreign films, and obviously I love just American films. I like just movies, and out of all the movies I've seen, this is seriously in the top 5 of my favorite movies, or movies that have just changed my life. Please, it's called Sophie Scholl, The Final Days. There's a link on my Facebook page. Please rent it, please. It's about these college kids, specifically Sophie Scholl and her brother Hans Scholl. And during the Reich of Hitler, they peacefully promoted peace by printing these leaflets and distributing them on their campus. They happened to attend the University of Munich, which was the city we were in, and so we watched this movie on the bus. I was so incredibly touched that I asked Natalie, can we go to the University of Munich? Can we please? I would love to see the Sophie Scholl Memorial, because this girl, I have no doubt in my mind, this girl is a martyr. I mean, in the movie they say she was Protestant, or she says she's Protestant anyways, and even up until the last hour, she is just praising God. I mean, you've been captured by Nazis, and you are about to die, and she's just praising God, and she just her and her brother, they're called the White Rose. They were just a little group. All they did was peacefully protest. They just prayed for the war to end, and they just prayed that the government would just let them have peace. That's all they wanted. That's all they advocated for. So I don't know, and she died because of it. So she's a saint and a martyr, um, and it's just a really amazing movie. So I asked Natalie if she would please take me there, because a lot of the movie was also filmed at that university. And Natalie was almost, kind of surprised, but so she said she would take me there. And you walk in the university and you see, like, I had just watched the movie, so the clips were fresh in my mind. I just see, where there's a scene in the movie where she, like, gives out, she throws the leaflets from, like, it's like this foyer, okay, and there's, like, stairs, and then there's, like, a kind of upper level, but it's, like, open, you can see down. There's just hallways that surround the foyer. And in the movie, she kind of tosses these leaflets to the students, and, of course, they're just advocating for peace and that Germany's kind of not winning the war anymore, and we should just, spare the lives of many German soldiers and just surrender, for peace. And so you get to see that, and there's a point in the movie, there's this big circular glass window, and she always kind of looks up at it, looking up to the Lord, and I look up and I see that window, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and then there's a plaque in Latin that says something along the lines of, dedicated to people who gave their lives for peace, and that they did not die in vain. And I just start crying. And Natalie's kind of laughing, kind of confused, and she just goes, how do you know about this, let alone, feel so connected to these people, to be emotionally moved by this, like it's something that's very specific to Germany. It's like our history, it's not really an American thing. And I said, well, don't let me fool you. I just watched the movie. I really didn't know anything about the Scholls until then. But I mean, how could you not be moved to tears? They're so brave. They're saints. I believe they're saints. They're just prayerful, peaceful, amazing. I was just moved. So Natalie just thought, well, then she kind of laughs at me and says, well, everybody just assumes America's ignorant, so that's why I asked you. You gotta love the European honesty. And then later I talked to Sister Monica, and she said, I completely missed this. She said there were busts of not just Sophie and Hans Scholl, but also the other members of the White Rose. They had busts of them in that foyer, and they had a big bouquet of white roses. And I completely missed that. I would have loved to see that. I'm not sure. I must have just been facing the wrong direction, or I must have just been crying too much. But that would have been amazing, and I missed it. However, they did have leaflets, or copies of the leaflets, and some old photographs of the Scholls. Right as you walk into the university, they're like cemented into the ground. So I did take pictures of those. You will see those on my Facebook as well. So please rent and watch that movie. I'm telling you, I was just so incredibly touched. Yes, wow. So friends, food, and the Scholls. Okay, covered those bases. Now, other cool things that I did. We had Mass. Oh my gosh, Father Brad got to wear papal vestments. We're in Munich, Germany. This is where Pope Benedict was Archbishop. Amazing. You're just in a church and you go, wow, Pope Benedict, said Mass here. And Father Brad's like, wow, Pope Benedict, wore these. It's just funny, and that church was so big, it was so beautiful. And you'll notice I have a picture of a cement foot, and the caption is "The Devil's Footprint." Well, Father Brad told me that the story goes the architect was trying to build this cathedral, and the devil kept pestering him, and so finally he's just like, all right, devil, stop, get behind me, Satan, if you will. And the devil said, okay, I will stop pestering you if you agree to build this cathedral without any windows. So the architect said, okay, fine. Made a deal with the devil. And so when you walk into this cathedral and you stand, there's the aisle and there's the crucifix. when you're standing in the middle of the aisle in the back, or even anywhere really in the aisle, there's all these pillars, and it looks like there are no windows in this cathedral. But if you look at a certain angle, you can actually see that the windows are hidden behind these pillars. It has to be at a certain angle, because even if you're if you're standing right in front of the pillar, the window is skinny enough because it's right behind it. So the story goes that, the architect finished the cathedral and invited the devil back to see the work that he had done. And, the devil's pleased. He's going, all right, yeah, no windows, no light can shine in, if you will. And, but then the story goes, he took a step forward, looked at that angle, and realized that he had been fooled and that there actually are windows, even though it looked like there wasn't. And so the devil was so embarrassed and so angry that he had been fooled that he stomped in the ground as he left. And so that's what that footprint is there for. So check it out in my album if you haven't seen it. It's kind of funny. And I'm sure you can find the picture. There's a giant crucifix, and then there's all these pillars, and there is actually a stained glass window at the front. And I'm pretty sure the caption reads, the cathedral where Pope Benedict was Archbishop. So you can see all those things in my album. Let's see, what else can you see in my album? I don't know, just beautiful architecture all over Germany. Oh, yes, how could I forget? The Opera House. If you've not heard of the Opera House, it's kind of like the German version of a Hard Rock Cafe. The original Hard Rock Cafe is in London, I'm pretty sure. So the original Opera House is in Munich, and they have one in Pittsburgh, so that's how I originally heard about it. So we went to the original Opera House, and they also have these huge liters of beer. And so my friend got one, and I got what looks like a half-liter of white wine. I can assure you it was not a whole half-liter of white wine. It was actually white wine diluted with carbonated water. So yes, I did have a big mug. Yes, it was white wine, but it was also carbonated water. So I was not, I don't even know, drunk, I guess is what you would say. I was not blitzed. So I took a picture, comparing I think by that point I was almost done with it, but my, diluted white wine with Luke's huge liter of beer, just to show you, it was almost as big as my head. So I just took that picture for fun. I didn't drink any beer. I would feel not so good, not because I was drunk, but just because the gluten would make me feel sick. So, yes, we got to do that, so that was very fun. And Natalie was just a dream. She was just cool. She was just very, very nice. She was just teaching us, certain German words, kind of laughing at us as we're trying to say things in German. And she was just telling us about, just cultural things that you wouldn't necessarily know unless somebody who lived in Germany told you. And, we were just asking her silly questions like, what do you miss about America? She said squash. She misses squash. Isn't that funny? I'm like, squash? We're all like, squash? Okay. So, I don't know. It was a really good day. Germany thus far has been my favorite. So, it was just really, really good, really beautiful. I hope I make my way back to Germany. I wanted to get a German flag while I was there. And I did not. I wanted a nutcracker from there too, because I love nutcrackers. I love the ballet, the Nutcracker. So it would have been cool to decorate my future house at Christmas with my nutcracker from Germany, but I didn't actually get one. So maybe if I make my way back there in the near future, they might still have them. But I definitely want a German flag. I want a flag from every country that I go to. Hopefully I can fit that in my budget. So that's my adventures. This video is getting kind of long, so I'll let you go. Thanks for being good sports and for checking in on me. And if you have any other questions, feel free to message me privately. I'll get back to you in a message for sure. I love going into detail about the things that I've seen and the things that I've done. So if you ever want to hear more from me, just shoot me a message and I'll be sure to get back to you. So God bless and have a good day.